Hello, and welcome to Philosophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw-Doering, and my philosophy is to believe in infinite possibilities. Today, we are talking about the greatest triumph ever. And I chose that topic. It was interesting. This week, and for the last few weeks, I was sick for a while and I didn't do a show, and then it was just like this fog. I didn't know what to talk about. And most of what I was talking about I was doing on other shows. And it was interesting. I didn't know what to talk about. And then I sat down and I went in meditation with Archangel Gabriel. And it was, now I have so much to talk about. I've got too much to talk about. Because I was trying to get hope for the people always. That is my thing. That's what I do. I know what my life purpose is, and it's to turn on lights in people. Everybody's got theirs. Everybody's got their part to play. A lot of you light workers out there, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody kind of finds their own way. And Gabriel reminded me because, sometimes you get lost in the fog. You get lost in the energies of what's going on. And lately, the energies have been crazy. I mean, and it's not just you, it's everybody. This back and forth, this push and pull. And what that is the war between good and evil, the positive against the negative, back and forth, back and forth. And I was reminded when I went to talk to him about how he told me long ago, before I got into all this guy with you guys. Just doing my spiritual thing, just doing my mom thing, just doing my radio thing, just doing all that, and I was watching it back in when all of the impeachments were going on. And I was kind of like, oh dear, this looks bad. I mean, they're just attacking him at every level. I mean, just back. This is ever going to stop. I mean, the poor man, because I knew from the beginning, without knowing anything about the bad guys and the good guys or anything like that, I didn't know any of that stuff. I was watching in 2016 when things were broadcast over the TV, debates and things. And I've done that my whole life. Just when I voted for president, never really kept up on it, but I would look at the person and I would size up the person. And I remember in 2008 when the president was elected, I didn't know anything about him, and I didn't know anything about anything. And I just remember saying, as soon as it was said and done, I said, we're screwed. And I didn't have anything to back that up with or even know why. It was just an instinct. And so when I saw in 2016 who was running, I saw how the other side tried way too hard. And it was just shocking what was going on. And I was like, and then I looked at that man and I said, I know what kind of man that is. He says what he means and he means what he says. And if he was your dad, you get one warning and you better not screw up or you're in trouble. And there's no going back. It's not like me where it's like, okay, now I'm going to give you another warning. There's no warnings with that man. You've been told. He means what he says. And I really felt that his intentions were true. Just right off the bat. So anyway, when I'm watching all this other stuff go on, I asked Gabriel, I was a little worried. I was like, they're attacking a man whose intentions are good and pure. And that's what I saw. I see basic things like that. I said, how is he going to fare in all of this? I mean, with all the attacks. I mean, with his mission here, how's he going to fare in all of this? And I remember looking at Gabriel, clear as day, and I wasn't in meditation, clear as day. He said, greatest triumph ever. I was like, really, ever? That's a long time. And I've told you guys the story before, but we have to keep thinking about that. We have to be reminded of that. And then I think about the time that I asked and the things that were going on, and I was like, okay, well, would you really classify that up there as the greatest triumph ever? Just, getting out of the impeachments and all that? No. Greatest triumph ever would really have to be a big deal. It would really have to be a big deal. And you guys are going to have to excuse the lighting in here. I mean, I have to have the light on so I can read my notes, and there's a window in front of me, and it's bright, and so I look like super white, but that's okay. And at another time, I remember back in 2000, I think it was the inauguration from the 2016. I said, and everybody just jumped all over me for this. And I saw him and I said, he's going to be the most loved president ever. And everybody's like, are you kidding? Everybody hates him. He's like the worst. They're telling us he's the worst hated president ever. And I'm like, okay, just wait for it. Wait for it. Sometimes it takes a while. Wait for it. Mama comes out with some good stuff sometimes. So today I got a lot of information, not so much specific information, but this show is really about how we as people and spectators need to fare through all of this, and how we gonna ride it out. All right. Once it starts, we've got about a month of time where we're going to have enough supplies and enough stuff like that. That's really hard to read on how everything's going to transpire, because there's a lot of questions to ask, and I usually have to have the right question. That's one of the things with me, is to ask the right question. Because angels are very specific, God, Jesus, they're very specific. But sometimes, when you ask God or Jesus, they know exactly what you need, and they just come out and just give you a one-liner that you remember for the rest of your life, So let me get through this in the way that I lined it out. Okay. What we know and what we choose to believe conflict all the time. And when that happens, there's confusion, and that's what the dark side counts on. And when you're confused, it's hard to make a decision. It's hard to act. That's what's going on lately with the energies, is they are blasting everybody with so much confusion, so much fear, so much, oh my God, everything's going to fall, the sky is falling, oh my God, what are we going to do? I don't know what to do. I just can't even think. I just can't even think. And it's in those times that we forget what we know. We don't listen to our intuition. You turn on the TV and start flipping around. Don't do that. I did that the other day. It wasn't a good scene. I just got so disgusted I just turned it off. I was like, now I'm getting all confused again. Stick with what you know. Now, if we really believed, just examples, humans, okay? If we really believed that we were going to go to hell for doing frivolous things, and followed everything word for word, would we really still do it? No. somewhere inside, you know, well, there's big things and there's little things, and I know God still loves me. Somewhere deep inside of you, you know that. Or you wouldn't take that big a risk. I mean, you really wouldn't. Same thing with this. We all basically know inside that it's going to be okay. And it's the doubt and the confusion and the what ifs and maybe I'm wrong and all that keeps you up at night. But you really need to get back to a quiet place and say, do I really see us living in a world where we can't leave our houses or we can't do anything and we have no freedom and we don't have that? You know, that there's always possibilities. Believe in infinite possibilities. But somewhere inside you, you know that's not going to happen, or you wouldn't continue to do the things you do on a daily basis. You know that everything changes and there are bad times, but everything always shifts back to a good time, doesn't it? It does. So we don't want to get too caught up in what is popular to think, you know? Stick with what you know. Ask yourself some questions. Do you really think that's going to happen? I mean, do you really think everybody that took the, you know, we have so many people that took the, you know, cure. And people, I really think that's a misinformation campaign. Now, I'm not saying that anything's good about it, but think about it. Anybody that's on the side of good, are they going to be out? Yeah, if they're the lollipop. Anybody that's on the side of the good, are they going to be out there and they're going to tell you, no, well, no matter what you do, you're still going to die in 2 years if you did that. And everybody panics. Oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody run around and scream. Everybody that we love is going to pass because they took it. Half of our friends, family, and friends took it. Are they going to die? Oh my God. Now, who do we know that would want the population to panic like that and be in a state of complete fear? The dark side, the bad guys. And that's why I don't jump on board with that. I don't care who these doctors are. And I don't, you know what? I don't trust a lot of people now. I don't even trust the pediatrician for my kids. Because I had a little incident down there and they're all lucky they're still alive. But, you know, people are paid off and people are brainwashed, and we know this, okay? So it really is our time to get back to the old ways. It's time to get back to your intuition. All right, let me get back to my notes because I got a lot to cover here. You know, like, so if example, if you got a nice spouse and everything's cool, and then all of a sudden somebody spreads a rumor, somebody somewhere who either wants to hurt them or you, but it spreads so far and wide, and people start coming up to you and saying your spouse is a cheater. Well, I heard from so and so and so, and then some people take whatever they heard as fact, and they're just like, well, we know for sure that, you know, this and this happened. I'll say it's not, none of it's true. There's the doubt. You know in your heart, just like, well, this guy's with me all the time. I don't know what he has time to do that. I mean, you know, we're happy as can be and everything's cool. And he's not the kind of person that would do that. And I just don't see that happening. I've seen no signs of it. But everybody says it's happening. Should I leave? Should I accuse them? Well, of course, if you accuse somebody of that, they're going to say no, right? So who do you believe? You believe what you know. and you take a look at the motives. Take a look at who's saying it. Get back down to the root. Where did this come from? Do some investigation for it. Don't ruin your marriage because of misinformation. That's where we're at with every little situation right now. Everything is a bunch of crap. Take inventory of what you know. A lot of times when you're watching things and you see what's going on in the news, things like that, we'll say, well, what's that person's motive? What's their angle? What drives them? Where's this coming from? It's just it's time to trust your instincts. Now, the war between good and evil right now, energetically, is infecting us. There's massive amounts of fear. It's blanketing over the land. It creates confusion, and people react. They shelter in place. They pull back, and they know that. So let's think about it. We've seen from the other side massive amounts of, oh my God, this is happening. Oh, now there's a war. Oh, now there's this. Monkeypox. Flying. I mean, next will be flying, man-eating spiders. Something like that would get me. Right? That's when Mama pulls out the guns, is when there's flying man-eating spiders. But they know this. And then we question it. We're like, oh, how would anybody do that? Because we're good people. And we're like, what would anybody do? Spread that amount of fear for no reason? Oh my God, it might be serious. This must be real. No. They know that they have to keep you afraid. They have to keep you in fear. And evidence of that right now. We've seen in other countries, they're telling them not to talk to their neighbors. Don't talk to your neighbors now, or you're going to die. Really? No, you're going to die is what's going to happen. It's because they don't want the people rising up together. Because what happens when you talk to people? You say, well, I think this is going on and that's going on. And what do you think about that? Oh, no, I heard this. That's a bunch of crap. You don't need to be afraid, blah, 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 blah. They empower each other. They band together, especially in hard times. The censorship, not to gather, the censorship, because everybody's like, why release a pandemic that's not like really wiping out massive amounts of people? Why even do it? Because it was a form of control. It was a way to get everybody together. I mean, apart. Stop them from getting together. So what we need right now, and some of you are going to be like, love, whatever. No, we need a massive love campaign right now. What we need, so we're censored about anything that has any kind of keywords in it, right? Well, they can't censor empowerment. Putting out massive amounts of posts and things like that, like, I resist fear. I don't believe lies. We're all one race, human. Stuff like that. And it has a big effect. It really does. So let me, before I get on to all of my examples and all my mommy lecture here. God, I got so many pages here. All right, so my lovely friend, Dave Barra, not Dave Barra. I love Dave too. Mike Barra. Told everybody today I had all this information to reveal, so I had to go back in and get some more information to reveal. All right, so 10 things to know from Archangel Gabriel. The EMS is going to come over the radio. So you need a radio in your backstock. So if I'm not sure if some of these very, very new cars are going to pick it up, but if you get AM FM on something like an old clock radio, if you have a weather radio, just something with batteries or plugs into the wall or something. Batteries is better, car or batteries, because we might lose power. That's what you need. Because think about it. All of anything that's running over the internet or the TV is going to be messed with. But if you're picking up radio waves, how are they going to do that? I mean, they probably could, but I think there's something in place. I really think it's going to come over there. Yeah, if you have a crank radio, if you have something like, a lot of times you still have like the old clock radio or alarm clock that has a radio on it, something like that. Make sure you got one of those around. I don't even know if I have an inside radio. I don't even know where it is. So now I have to go buy a radio. But you don't have to buy the expensive weather radio unless you're in a place where you think you might get weather through this. I do that, but they're pretty expensive. I'm talking if you can get your hands on something, if you've got something in the garage, go and clean it up, put the batteries in it, test it out, make sure you can tune something in. Now I got all this quick, so if it's wrong, it's whatever. You got to be brave if you're going to be psychic. So anyway, bomb threats are not real. It's NSA, CIA staged false flags. So if something goes off, it is definitely staged. So you all know how that goes. Mr. T is not in Afghanistan. He did send a proxy. So what does that tell you? That made me happy. He did send a proxy. Let's see. What else we got? The turbulence, whenever it starts, and I feel like we're just about there. I really do. It's going to last for about 4 to 6 weeks. So in your, depending on where you live, make sure you got enough stuff for that. And remember, you're not going to be wanting to eat top ramen or rice the whole time. Make yourself happy, put some good stuff in there. Anything you can add water to and heat up, good. Make sure you go. Wait a minute. Okay. So you want to be prepared for that amount of time with supplies. Have cash on hand. ATMs may work off and on in some places. They may be, but they'll be empty. That's the problem. Okay, because they'll probably be empty when you get to one. Not sure the exact time periods for all of this, but play it safe and get done with prep before Saturday. And this, the rest of this is all, you're going to walk away and you'll be like, yeah, we could do this. I'm so happy. This part, then he gives me I'm like, what do you mean Saturday? I mean, Saturday. Like, he actually said by tomorrow. So stop and get gas. If you don't have any batteries in the house for whatever radio you got, get it. I know all of you are probably prepared, but top everything off. Now, today and tomorrow, I would do it before Friday night. I would do it before you go to bed Friday. Because what's going to happen, I think, not so much is that there's something. Friday, he said, is a big day. Didn't really elaborate on that. Right? Saturday's the 21st, and we may have, there's supposed to be a big rally. He said the rally's going to be interesting. He said Friday will be an interesting day. False flags. Possible. God, I don't even want to say this. I'm just going to say it because I'm brave, damn it. All right. Possible war declaration. Not sure if that will happen. I don't know. Not sure. I think that's fear from me saying, I don't know if I want to say that, but I'm just gonna let you guys all hear what I get, and we'll see what happens. All right. I heard something and saw a school bus. Drive your kids to school just to be safe. We don't need them all together when they in a target vehicle when the deep state's looking for false flags. So just drive them to school. Didn't hear anything about the actual schools, but I did see a school bus. Not sure about that. Let's just be safe. There's supposed to be an interesting rally on Saturday. Watch it. Listen closely, he said. Listen closely. A lot of times we like glaze over because they'll say the same things over and over again, but he slips little bits and pieces in there. You need to listen. So often I've gone back and listened again. Okay. The situation overseas right now, you know what I'm talking about, is definitely a black hat operation. And what I caught is it's a safe place for deep state to flee. And I'm like, I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, well, so you've got this terrible den that nobody wants to go into, but they can go in, can't they? Now that is being countered, he said, and there was talk today about a plane going over there. Mr. T sent a proxy. So it's very exciting to speculate what would happen. I'm kind of thinking we've got some double agents over there in the bad guy camp. So let's get back to where I was. All right. Got some good examples here. I run out of room and then I write things on the edges. Aw. Okay. Sorry, hang on. Okay, it's very important right now. Again, I'm going to be a broken record. It's very important right now. It's so easy to fall into the fear and fall into despair and panic. If you're very young, it would be easier to do that. People, have lived a while. They kind of wait and listen and watch, especially if you have raised teenagers. I'm just saying it's not pretty. All right. I've been there. It just came out. When they come in and everything's going to hell and everything, and I just kind of I wait and I listen to what they're saying. And I'm just like, don't panic yet. Oh, they're just having some kind of episode, So what we really need to do is we need to take every opportunity to laugh and to smile and to make other people laugh and to celebrate. And don't worry so much about what's my title and how much money I'm making and what's going to happen for the rest of my life and my retirement and this and that. Right now is not the time. Now is the time to stand up and say no and to plan something. My dad, used to tell me, so I always have to have something to look forward to. Otherwise, I get kind of depressed. And I'm like, that's wise. That is wise. Plan something to look forward to. Even if something, all hell breaks loose and we can't do it, who cares? Always have something to look forward to. Take every opportunity to make the people in your life, at your work, in your family happy. Even if you're not really feeling it. What girls and I used to do. You guys know my husband passed away when the girls were 4 and 7. It was down back in 2007. And so it was hard. I had to learn to keep them up and to keep them happy and stuff. And even when you didn't feel it, and sometimes feel kind of down and kind of scared. But what we used to do, I did something with the kids I used to do with my friends in high school. I remember when somebody broke up with somebody, we're all sitting around eating ice cream or whatever, drinking beer, ice cream, beer, whatever. And we would just start laughing out loud, like, because it was so stupid and so fake that it actually made us laugh for real. And then that was it. Then we're off and we're laughing and everybody feels better. I mean, when you laugh, it raises your vibration, your body stops, pulls it out of clenched mode, you heal better, everything. So right now, we need to be rebels. We need to not, because what we're doing is we're fueling the fire for the deep state, for the bad guys. We are doing exactly what they want us to. And everybody's talking about the war, and everybody's talking about this, and nobody's looking at what we were looking at before. And everybody's scared, and everybody's worried, and oh my God, and this and that, run around and scream. You know what? That's exactly what they want you to do. I, for one, am not going to do it. I scheduled a party. That's something to look forward to. I'm going to schedule other things. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. I mean, I know what my purpose is in this life. It's taken me a long time to figure that out. And some people say, "Oh, you're always so positive." No, I'm not. Behind, I struggle with it. I always come back to it because I've been working on it for a long time. I started out with positive thought. I learned a lot. I learned a lot along the way. My purpose in this life is to flip on the lights in all of you. Whoever comes to me in my little part, it's not to save the world all by myself. It's ridiculous. But my little part, whoever finds me, is to find that hope, is to turn on that light inside you or make it shine. It's time to shine. So all of you light workers who've been waiting for the call, this is it. It's time to shine. Because if we stay on the same road and we keep feeding the fear, you're giving them fuel. But if we all just say, we're all just turn into a bunch of rebellious teenagers and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. We're going to have a good time. They can't get us all. No. And what will happen is everybody will be so happy with that. It's having so much fun that it'll raise your vibration, and the vibration, it's the collective vibration that they know needs to be low in order to stay here. They're trying to make it so low so they can bring in bigger bad guys. That's why. It's like, well, what, don't they have enough money? Don't they have enough power already? Why would they want to enslave everybody? Why would they want to do that? You're right. They do have enough power and they do have enough money, and they don't need to do that. They could just let the world go and just party all the time. They need to lower the vibration of the planet as a whole to despair. And then they can bring in their big bad guy. I don't know if that's the Antichrist. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to know what it is. I'm not tuning into that, but that's what they want to do. And my purpose here in this lifetime is to turn on light so that doesn't happen. So, if you're watching me, it's time to shine. What's and I knew this before I knew it. What's the title of my book? My publisher died and blah, blah, blah. I got to redo that. Anyway. But it's the Wishflower Field, Marie's Triumph. I don't know why I chose that name, and I don't know why I used that. But you know what my middle name is? Marie. You clue into things years later. I do that. I clue into things years later. I'm like, duh. So that's what's really happening right now. Over the next month, we're going to be in the transition from dark to light. And I liked it when he said that. I was like, really? Over there? Well, that's going to get bad. That is bad, and that is good. Okay, so I'm in meditation for this. Okay. He said, legions of angels are in place to assist and help the rise of man. We, as the majority, fight from home. Our job now is to empower people. Some will fight in the streets, but the majority will fight from home. And it's by saying no. That is our job now. We empower. Okay. There's been a shift in it. It was before to inform and to put all the bad stuff out there. They're going to do that in the reveal phase. So what we do now is empower people to say no and to be happy and to shine and to do that. All right. So I got that there's uprisings coming tomorrow. I don't know where. Blackouts are coming. We need to listen for instructions. So basically, everybody's going to be okay. Make sure you got that radio. Because if they can't get through on the TV and everything else, you got to have a radio. Gabriel said, pray and know that it's almost over. The transition will take weeks. Once it's done, there will be a cleanup phase that could take a long time. That's probably all the trials and all the exposure and all the stuff. The world will follow. So that phase, I don't know, but I think we're in a good spot there where somebody's making decisions in our favor. But I think the initial phase to do that, either that happens and then what I always saw is that something big happens, like things flip, and then there's backlash, and then they have to get rid of the backlash, and then there's the cleanup phase. And what tells you that both sides know how important your state of mind and you as creators, what you think is. Now, the dark side wants you to do everything to influence your opinion. Everywhere. Movies, music, TV, media, everything. Why would they do that? Why would they care? They have so much power. So you know that they know. Um, and the good side asked you to pray. Have you ever heard that? Political, military, always asking you to pray. Pray, 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 pray. Why? Because they know that we create the collective reality. Um, it's not that God needs so many requests. It's never been that. Because even before you ask, it is answered, it is given. Correct? We've been told that. It's because we're all pieces of God. And the more pieces of God that gather together in unison and intent, the stronger creation is. The brighter the light, it's all about creation on a collective level. It's not a fantasy. And we as human beings, we do not dwell in darkness, do we? Or we wouldn't have lights, wouldn't have electricity. We don't just get dark and we just sit there like, oh, well, it's dark now. We overcome it. And we will overcome this. Because whenever darkness is cast upon us, we find some way to shine a light. And we will. Together. Example. It starts with you, personally. Example. Sit in a dark room, dark, cold room. Well, it's cold and it's dark and I don't like this. And then light one candle. Well, that's kind of better. That's kind of better. Still dark. But if you light one candle at a time, the more candles that are lit, there's less and less darkness. And the room becomes warm. You're not cold anymore, and you're not afraid anymore. The more that gather together, the stronger creation is. There is power in numbers. And, when we're threatened, we protect ourselves. But this is a different kind of war. Everybody says that. And it absolutely is. It is definitely a different kind of war. So just imagine. Gabriel showed me this picture of this beekeeper and this white box, which is a beehive. Now the beekeeper comes up and there's all these bees in there, and they'll come up to the box when there's not many looking, right? A lot of them are out for the day. And he wears the costume, his protection. And the bees that are there, they hit them with a smoke screen, right? Hits them with smoke to stun them. Confuse them. And then he takes the honey. He takes the fruits of their labor. This is why we've been in society for a long time. We've been in a box. Now, if you take away the keeper's protection, take away his costume, take away his armor, and you take his smoke can away. So the armor would be probably the money, the power. The smoke can would be the propaganda, the influence, the media. And even if we stopped making honey, and all of us paid attention, all of us little bees, thousands of bees in this box, the next time the keeper comes, you can't take our honey anymore because we're all going to react. And he cannot stand up to that many bees. He will lose because he has no more armor and his smoke isn't working. He doesn't have his smoke. So he can't take our honey anymore. He can't take our money anymore. He can't take the product of our labor. This is what we need to do, and this is what Mr. T has been teaching people, is to starve the enemy. And if our enemy is feeding off of money and power, we need to stop giving money to the enemy. If our enemy is feeding off of negative energy, then we, as warriors, need to build that positive energy. And everybody says, oh, well, I'm so depressed and I don't know how to do that. And I can't even smile, blah, blah, blah. Make yourself smile. Quit being a wuss. You know? I don't care if you want to do it. Do it anyway. Do you love your people? Or are you going to let everybody fall apart? We don't do that. It's in times like this that we need to stand up, come together, and lead by example, and others will follow you. You don't have to run around to everybody and say, be positive, smile, laugh, make yourself laugh. You don't have to do that. Because think about it. Like, okay, let's say everybody's in the office, all right? And everybody's like, oh, it's Monday, whatever. And you walk in and you're like, good morning. And you're just like, and everybody's like, I hate you. And then, then you pull out cookies or something. Oh, hey, cookies, coffee, cookies. And then you start talking and you're up, you're positive. And the people will start to smile. They'll come out of it. Now, if they choose to go back into it after you leave the room, that's their deal. But a lot of them might say, you know what, I felt better when I was happy. I think I'll stay there. That's how we win. There's a lot of things that are going to happen really fast to shift the I'm going to go from defensive to offensive really fast. And with all my heart and soul, I think it's happening like within the next few days. I mean, I really do. I really do. I mean, and if I'm wrong, then, well, it's going to happen later. It's going to happen one way or another. Because when I was talking about earlier, do you really think that everybody's just going to lay down and let us all be enslaved? The mothers alone. I never underestimate the strength of a woman. I'm telling you that now. Happen to be one. And when it comes to my babies, like I always say, I'll rip your throat out with my bare hands. Because adrenaline in a mother or a father or someone who is protecting their young will come out. And we're going to be seeing some extraordinary things. So when I went into meditation today to talk to Gabriel, it was different. Because it's usually very like a sunny day without a sun. Just all over the place. Everything's very beautiful and green and colorful. When I was talking to him today, I was looking at him. He was standing over on the side of the field. I project my consciousness to different dimensions. I go to the 6th level of heaven. I always have. I don't know why. I'd have a tree there and a field and a house and everything else. Been doing it for a while. But it almost looked like he was standing and it was sunset. I said, wow, the light is really different here today. Is that me? And he said, God is shining golden light upon the earth right now, like a sunset. Then comes the night, and then comes the dawn. And he said, legions. That is That is not 100 or 1,000. That is a lot of angels are just standing here right now, watching us, waiting to act. Because as soon as you make a decision, I'm not saying run out in the streets and riot and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not going to be productive. There will be some of that. A lot of it's going to be fake, but there will be some of that, and some of that is necessary in some areas. But as a majority, they are waiting for you to stand up and say, that's enough. And then they act. They're waiting for you to pray and ask for protection for your family. The other day, I learned something. Because I'm learning all about this conscious creation thing. I'm supposed to write a book about it someday. I'm not smart enough to do that yet. So I'm learning little by little. They're showing me things. And, excuse me. It's been smoky here. Anyway. So when the cat disappeared, my cat disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this right now. And the cat was gone for 2 days. He was in the backyard or the neighbor's yard, and we got him back. But there was a point where we had all been sick and things weren't going good. And I was just like, nope, I can't have this for my family right now. They can't handle this right now. They can't leave this cat they've had right now for 11 years. No, this is not happening right now. And I said, I called in the angels and I said, if that thing's alive, he needs to come home now. And my husband came home 2 hours later, walked into the backyard, looked under the trailer, and there he was. And I was like, that was good. That was good. Thank you. And everybody was okay. And everybody hated my husband because he's the one who let him out, right? On accident. But we need to stand up and we need to say, in my reality, because we all have a personal reality, in my reality, this is what happens. And we need to pair in our intention. And it would be really great. You know, sometimes you have prayer groups to pray for peace or to pray for, don't just pray for peace. Be specific on what everybody is going to pray for or visualize. We need to start organizing. If it's over the internet, probably has to be. Intent groups. We need to see it. We need to say it, to pray for it. And we need to believe it. That this is what's coming in our reality, in my reality. That's the kind of creation and reality we're moving into. Don't know how long that's going to take, probably a while. But that's what we're moving into as a people. When you say, oh, more advanced beings, that's what happened to them. They started creating their reality. They started creating the thought. We're doing it right now. We just don't have a grasp on what we're doing. The dark side knows it, or they wouldn't try to influence you. They wouldn't try to hold you back. They know it right now. And they're trying to do it without the creator, through you. So we need to get smart. And some other things that are coming here. Turbulence is going to last. I think I said this before. Turbulence is going to last for 4 to 6 weeks. Be prepared for that amount of time with the supplies, the cash, and all that. Go and get gas today. Go and get gas today or tomorrow morning. Another thing. The seas will be turbulent, he says. I didn't know what that meant. Like the ocean? Yes, there's something's going to go on in the ocean. Stay off the water. Just all I can say is stay off the water. something's going down tomorrow. I don't know what it is. They don't tell me everything because then I get scared and I'm like, well, what's going on? So we're just about to the time that we thought was coming. And it's interesting. There are a lot of false flags coming. And they're going to look really real. There may even be a proposed world war. And remember I said a long time ago on another show that Real News Live that I saw Biden removed, but it wasn't simply the audits. It was that he tried to start a world war. Let's think about the situation over there right now that we've just heard about. I just feel like there'll be a domino effect with that if it's not nipped in the bud quickly. I think that's why there's a proxy sent over there. I feel a domino effect with that. Has a lot to do with China. So basically what China's trying to do now is they are trying to do what Germany did and start conquering territories without actually going in there with tanks and everything else. So they're trying to get as many territories conquered or whatever before Mr. Magoo is thrown out of office. So it's hard for me to line it all out because there's just so many things happening at once and I don't see everything. I'm not perfect, but being prepared right now is not oh my God, be prepared right now, shelter in place. No, I just feel like most of us are, and we have been for a while, and we've learned to be. I'm tired of it. I'm just like, you know what? I spend all my money at the store. I mean, I spend a lot of money at the store because if anybody comes at me, tells me I can't come in, I'm going to say, I own half this place. All right. I pay your salary. When is the time going to come when I don't have to, plan to have that much supply? I'm tired of it. And that's what we all need to do. Remember what I did with the cat? I got backed into a corner and I said too many things. No. We all need to stand up and say, you know what? Let's do it. I'm done with this. Let's get it over with. If we got to go 4 to 6 weeks, I got everything. I got generators and flashlights and candles and food. And Mom's going to have a great old time. I can bake a pie in a pot. In the garage, on everything I got so much stuff. My husband's got, I'm like, everybody looks at me like, do we have any food? Are you okay? I'm like, you know what? Everybody makes fun of Mom until it happens. It's always been that way. Like if the storm's coming, I'm out at the store. I'm like hauling stuff in. I'm like, we need 100,000 batteries and we need candles and we need this. And everybody look at me like, what are you doing? I'll be like, just wait. I don't know, but there's a reason for it. My husband has been, looked at me like, what was it? It was like January before the pandemic. He looked at me and he said, and my husband was in the military for 12 years. Never talked about a gun, never pulled him out. The only time he pulled it out was playing with BB gun with his son. He has guns, but not a lot. So nice. He's such a nice man. He looked at me in January of 2020. And he goes, we need guns and we need ammo and we need a lot of it. And I'm like, what do you know? I'm like, what? I've never heard that from you. I mean, he's always the one calming me down. Somebody does something to the kids and I'm like, yeah, pick me up from jail. And so I said, that is so not like you. Let's go buy guns. So we've just started buying guns and ammo. We got so much stuff over here. And anyway, it's just interesting time. This has been an interesting time for all of us. No, it has been fun. Some of it's been fun. But what we need to do is we need to keep the children, the kids, and the teenagers especially, up. Keep them happy. Spoil them if you have to. Because they've already been through a very depressing time. And if stuff starts going to crap, we know it's going to end. We can tell them, but they're not going to listen to us. Make them happy. Make sure you got stuff in the house to keep them. If the Wi-Fi goes down, holy crap, they're not even going to be able to handle it. Go and get games. Go and get stuff. Pull out the games. Books. Hopefully they're readers. But try to give them something to do. When the kids were little, man, I always had Play-Doh. When little kids. I had Mystery Stash in a box. And if something went down and it was a rainy day and everybody's inside or whatever, I'd open up the box. And I would never let them see what's in the box. So just pulling the box out is exciting. And I also had a grab bag for good behavior. So if somebody did what I wanted them to do without being yelled at, they got to grab in the grab bag, and it was just like candy and little things from the dollar store or stuff like that. But it was totally exciting. Oh my God, I am a good girl. I get a grab out of the bag. And then the sister's like, well, I want to grab out of the bag. What can I do? What can I do to get a grab out of the bag? So these are the things that we have to focus on. We need to get back down to a smaller place. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. The goal is happiness, empowering those around you, and saying no. And just like I did with the cat, you stand up, say, I'm done. This ends now. And can you imagine what would happen if a good portion of the population stood up and said, this ends now? It would end now. Because that is the hand of God. Everybody's like, oh, please God, please God, please God, please God. The more pieces of God that gather together, we are the body of God, right? That's what we've been told. Let's create the hand of God. We need a lot of people to gather together in the same intention, and that intention is this ends now and no. So I'll get off my soapbox, but for some of us, things are going to get really exciting. Some of us not so much. We won't like it very much, but I just really, and if it doesn't happen, I'm not even doing that anymore. I'm not even doing that if it doesn't happen anymore. I'm tired of that. I don't care. If I feel that confident about something, it's about to go down. If I argue with you about something, that I'm right, because I don't do that. I've always been very passive. I've grown to a place of strength. But when I grew up, I was like, yeah, that's okay. I can play with my toys. Yeah, I don't care. And I don't have a problem being wrong. I get along with people very well. But if I argue with somebody and I stand up and I say, this is what's going to happen. Listen, because my mother used to do that and she was never wrong. So I am excited. I'm a little concerned, mostly excited right now. Something's going to happen today. There's supposed to be some kind of Patriot announcement today that I got. I haven't even watched the news. I've been too busy. I mean, listen, social media, wherever I pick it up. sub's going down tomorrow. Be prepared by Saturday. Okay. Are there any questions before I go? Everybody's like trying to type really fast. All right. I just want to let you all know, if you're listening to this live on up there in the top hand corner, Beacon of Light Radio on YouTube, we're going to have Heather Ariel. She's an astrologer. She's going to be doing card pulls and free readings on a live tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Wait a minute, I was looking. Somebody said something here. Mike Lindell TV, 6 p.m. tonight. I think you can all share this video. I mean, I've said some things in here. I don't think it'll get banned or flagged because it's mostly a spiritual video. And, you know, of course, I am a psychic person. And I can be easily discredited. And there's no reason to ban anything that I say. You know, because you can just cast me as a loony. And I hide under that. All right, so I don't see any real big questions here, so I'm going to get going. Once again, light workers, anyone who's listening to me, it's time to shine, and this is your calling. This is the call. Time is now. Have a lovely weekend. I will see you tomorrow morning on Real News Live. Until then, keep shining.